Hi everyone and welcome to another Draw With Me video. It's been a hot minute since I've shared a video here, so it feels like it's well overdue. In this video, I'm going to show you all the stages it takes me to draw a sticker sheet, from the messy sketch to the final colouring stage. I was trying to think of more unusual themes to draw, something that you don't find as many of, and I came up with all things bubble tea. After living in China for a few years, I really love to draw Asian foods and all things Asian, so I feel like this is the next logical step. It turns out bubble tea is actually quite fun to draw because there are so many different shapes and colours that you can choose, so they end up looking really cute together on the page. Now, this isn't an actual tutorial on how I make sticker sheets, so if you want to see that, I've linked my full tutorial which shows you every step to print and cut the sticker sheet yourself. This is just a cozy video where you can draw along with me, watch my process, listen to some calming music, and generally to just keep you company while you work. I know that I love to watch these types of videos, especially ones with a voiceover. I made a Draw With Me video with no voiceover and it didn't do as well, and the feedback has been that people like the kind of chatty, cozy videos. It's like having a friend chatting away as you draw, and as an art business owner, that company can be the best medicine. It can get quite lonely when you're working from home, and that's how I feel anyway, so that's why I like to keep making these videos. So for those of you that have been following this channel for a while, you might notice that I took a bit of an unexpected, or should I say unexplained, break. It sort of just happened, but it definitely happened for a good reason. So you might already know, but I'm a mum to Freddie, who has just turned 2, but I'm also currently pregnant again, and I'm having twins. So babies number 2 and number 3 are on the way, and as grateful as I am for this amazing thing that's happening, it has been hard. I know it's probably going to get harder, but yeah, a twin pregnancy is no joke. I won't go into the detail because this is meant to be a positive, calming video, but it turns out that all the symptoms are pretty much amplified because there are 2 babies growing. So I decided to listen to my body and just rest as much as I could, well, as humanly possible with a toddler running around as well. Anyway, so the reason I'm sharing all of this is because I get so many comments and messages from other parents who are trying their hardest to run their business whilst balancing being a parent. And I think they see this kind of glorified image of, you know, business owners doing it all, being the best parent they can be whilst running a business, and when you fall off the wagon, it feels like a failure because you're not keeping up with that, you know, other person that you're following. So I'm trying to share the balancing of that and the fact that it's not always possible to do everything, and that's okay, as much as I want to, which is the frustrating part, I guess. It's seriously the thing that people message me about the most, and it's the thing I love to hear about the most, mainly because it helps remind me that finding it difficult is totally normal. So I really want to continue to share the ups and downs of balancing this crazy world of trying to make an income as an artist whilst raising a little family as well. So if you're a parent in the same situation, just know that I'm here. There really doesn't seem to be that many creators out there that are showing what it's like to have small children and running an illustration business. I'm sure there are, but I follow a few people that do, and I find that really, really helpful. So I want to be one of those people that can help other parents in the same situation as me. So I'm pleased to be here representing alongside them. So, as you've probably guessed already, the chat in this video isn't always just about artwork itself. It's about real life and business and everything in between. If you like that sort of thing, feel free to hit that subscribe button and help this business grow alongside my belly, which, by the way, is getting quite large as it is housing 2 babies. I'm a little bit scared for what's to come. I'm currently 24 weeks pregnant and I look like I'm about to pop. So yeah, I shall keep you updated over on my Instagram, and my shorts and my reels will probably just be me waddling about my studio. So let's talk a little bit about the actual art that I'm doing right now. This is an art video after all. I always start off with a very messy sketch. When I'm sketching, I'm not worried about the positioning, so I do that once I've got my initial ideas down. Before I start the next stage, I like to make sure they're all in the right place so that I'm not moving my line art about, but to begin with, that's not really what I'm concentrating on. I'm just getting my ideas down on paper. iPad, I guess. I'm using my own brush pack for every stage of this sticker sheet. So here I'm using my Silky Sketch. I use it for all of my rough sketch work and I absolutely love it. I've had so much positive feedback with my brush pack that I'm currently designing a series and I'll be releasing a new brush pack soon, so watch this space. I've been working on it for a while. I want it to be perfect before I release it to you guys. If you want to grab the brush pack that I'm using in this video, I've linked it below, and if you join my mailing list, which I've also linked below, I will send you a little discount code as well. My mailing list is just a place where I share some news, occasional updates, and freebies, so it's well worth a join. As you might know from previous videos, the line art stage is my absolute favourite stage in the drawing process. When I mentioned this in my last video, loads of you agreed, but so many of you love the creativeness of the initial sketching stage, which I totally can see why. I think I just love the refinement of the line art stage because it feels like I can really picture what the outcome is going to be like and whether I'm going to actually like the drawings. I'd really love to explore drawing without any line art, but for now I'm sticking to what I love. This is still my favourite brush for outlining. It's from my brush pack and it's called the Bristly brush. I just love the texture and grittiness of the stroke compared to a smoother outline. I tend to follow the same process with my artwork, which hasn't really been intentional, but following these same steps has sort of helped me create my own style. Art style is something that loads of artists talk about and worry about and feel that they struggle with and struggle to find, myself included. But I've always known that it's not just something that you find, it's something that just develops the more you practice. And even then, finding a style doesn't mean that you can't explore other styles or adapt and change. So for now, I guess this is my style, but I'm not boxing myself into it. I'm just gonna let it evolve as I evolve. Today's video is sponsored by my friends over at Domestika. Now, because you clicked on this video, stick around because I think you're going to love what I'm about to show you. Domestika offer high quality creative courses, and this Kawaii illustration course by Ilaria Renauro on how to create charming characters is up there with the best. She not only dives into the basics of kawaii illustration from facial features to body proportions, she also shows you how to create these characters by developing their backstory. Ilaria will not only guide you through the process of turning your characters into physical sticker sheets, she also shares her advice on how to start your very own kawaii sticker business. With the link below, you can grab 10% off her course, and that's on top of any discount Domestika are already running. That is a whole lot of learning. Okay, back to the video. I don't know if you guys have the same experience as me, let me know in the comments below, but I find that as a really busy mum, I end up doing all the things in my art business that I need to do, rather than the creative things that I actually want to do. But it's not good if you're an illustrator that doesn't actually find the time to make art. So these videos are actually a great excuse for me to sit down and finish a drawing. I'm feeding into my need to feel productive by making sticker sheets for my shop, uploading to YouTube, etc. But I'm also getting to be creative at the same time, so it's a little bit of a win-win for me. So you might have noticed that I use my line art to add in lots of little details that I don't bother adding in the sketching stage. I love adding little textured lines to give the illustrations a bit more dimension, as well as other details such as the ridging on the lid. I've got to be careful not to go over the top here with all the extra lines and details, because I don't want that detail to get lost when the stickers are printed for my shop. Obviously they'll be a lot smaller than my iPad screen, so I have to bear that in mind about what it's going to look like when they've actually gone to print. At the time of recording this video, my shop's actually closed, but I'm working hard to reopen before the twins arrive. When I relaunch my shop, I want to have lots of lovely new products in my store, as well as some of my older favourite products. Going on maternity leave as a self-employed person is a scary thing, So I really want to set up my shop before the chaos of 2 newborn babies and a toddler takes over. Hopefully I'll be able to keep that income growing so that my business can continue to grow even if I need to take a backseat when the twins arrive. You might be wondering how on earth I'll run a shop during the twins' arrival, and at first I didn't actually think it was possible. I wanted to come up with a solution to be able to do it all, and I just didn't know how, but it turns out I am so lucky, and I have enlisted the help from my mum and dad. They will be packaging my orders for me until I can get back to it once I'm out of the baby bubble. Yeah, they're pretty incredible. So that's why I'm working hard to set it all up before the twins make an appearance. In my head, that feels like ages away, but in reality, I actually only have a couple of months to go, which in terms of relaunching the shop and setting up a system again that I haven't used in such a long time, isn't very long at all. I want my shop to be full of new designs and products, so I'm working hard behind the scenes to get those products ready for the big reopening. I also have to factor in things getting manufactured because I won't be cutting my stickers myself. I just don't have the time. So I've got to factor in getting everything manufactured, approved from the manufacturer, shipped, and photos, listings, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's going to be a busy few months. So I'd love to know if you enjoy hearing about the more personal side of running an art business and what that means to me, or whether I should solely be sticking to the art chat. I like to have a mix of the two, but I guess it's all about finding the balance. I'm not going to be able to please everyone, but I shall try my hardest. Some of you might know that I have a Patreon where I share lots more of that behind the scenes stuff, and right now the monthly exclusive videos are making a return over there. So I'm trying to make my Patreon more in line with my YouTube channel. So once people have binge watched content here, you can find more similar content over on that platform. I really want to have free content on my YouTube, but if you're able to support me as an artist and help my business grow, then you can get extra content over on my Patreon. I really want it to be an extension of this YouTube channel, so I'm going to be making a few changes there over the next few months to try and help direct it in that way. I do actually have some exciting news, well, it's exciting to me anyway, about my studio space. So I have gone back and forth with my studio over the past couple of years, trying to figure out what works for my ever-changing home situation. Like so many artists, I started off working from my bedroom, which I outgrew pretty quickly when the shop started to grow. So I then started to rent my first studio space. And it was amazing to have a dedicated place away from home, and I spent a lot of time there. But after I had my son Freddie, I was barely there. I had this very naive idea when I was pregnant that I could bring a baby or a toddler to work with me and everything would be great. It turns out it didn't happen like that, and I'm sure other parents are nodding along as I say that. So because that didn't really happen, it just felt like it was a waste of money because I wasn't really there. Timing wise, just worked out that as the lease ended, we moved house and it meant that I had a spare bedroom, so I started to work from home again. So as Freddie got older, I really missed having my own space away from home to work on the business, and with Freddie heading to the grandparents a couple of days a week, I decided to rent a studio space again. All was going great, but now it was quite a drive from the house to the studio. The grandparents are also an hour's drive away, and it was beginning to feel like I was constantly driving just to use the office for a few hours a week. And it just didn't really feel like a very good use of my business time or my income. So back home I came. I'm now loving my home office. I'm not really missing the studio as much as I thought. I quite like being able to work in my pajamas again and work during nap time or evenings again. But of course, as I've mentioned many times in this video, I'm pregnant with twins. So next year, I'm getting kicked out of this room so that they can have a bedroom. So we've been back to planning where I can work from home. So the next logical option would be a garden studio. Honestly, for me, that would be the dream, but they are way out of my budget. So that dream was pretty short-lived when we went and had a look until we found an alternative. So I'm probably not going to explain this very well, but we found a local maker that basically makes sheds, and the design is pretty unique. I've not found anything like it. The roof is completely see-through. So it's like a glass roof, but it's made from like plastic that they use on aeroplanes. So it's really thick plastic. It looks like glass when you're in it, and the whole hut is shaped like an upside down U, and it's a very attractive looking building. The guy's been making them for about 8 years, and they started out as pretty fancy sheds, but now lots of artists are using them as garden studios. So it feels like I'm getting a garden studio, but for the price of a shed. Obviously, there's going to be some compromises, like it's probably going to be quite cold in the winter because it's just wood. But what he's going to do is add a layer of insulation for me, which will help with the cold. And to be honest, I reckon with a little heater, the place would be kept pretty toasty in winter. So I'm not too worried. It's a compromise, and it's a way to get this space for a fraction of the cost. So it's officially happening. I've paid the deposit, it's arriving in a month, and yeah, like I said, it's a much more affordable way to have this dedicated space. Plus, with the glass roof, filming these videos is going to be amazing because I'll be flooded with light from above. Okay, so I'm now going to chat to you about the colouring stage, my process with this, because I get quite a lot of questions in regards to this stage. And it's usually, why do I do a rough colouring stage and then colour in properly? Why don't I just colour in properly and then change the colours once I've done it? I mean, that's one of the pros of working digitally, right? We can tweak and alter the colours after colouring them in. So why make this extra step for myself and do this rough stage? So let me explain. You don't have to do this stage. Here you can see that I'm not worried about colouring inside the lines. I'm just roughly putting down some colour combinations to see what works. Once I've figured out which colours I like, I copy and paste the canvas, then I make the copied layer smaller and use it as a thumbnail for the actual colouring stage. When the thumbnail is in the corner of my sticker sheet, I can then use the eyedropper tool to select the colour and start colouring in my sticker sheet properly. I get that this might seem like a waste of time to people, but for me personally, I really struggle choosing colours and figuring out colour combinations. So I use this rough colouring stage kind of like a sketching stage. It's a draft, I can see what works, get colours and ideas of colours down quickly without concentrating on colouring in neatly. I don't find the colour choosing stage very enjoyable, but I do find the actual process of colouring neatly really enjoyable. I find it relaxing and therapeutic. So if I already have my colours decided in a rough form, when I go to colour in properly, I can actually enjoy the process. I'm not thinking, oh, this colour's ugly or this colour doesn't work, because I can see from my draft that it all comes together. I have no idea if I'm making sense, but in my head, it just works and it makes sense. I sketch before I do my line art and I colour sample before I do my colouring. I think if I didn't do this rough stage and I coloured the whole page in neatly with colours I really didn't think worked, I'd then spend the next 50 hours dragging and dropping different colours on different sections and getting myself all confused. So for me, this works. It's an extra step, I guess, but I reckon it saves me a lot of time in the long run. So there's my explanation. I hope that makes sense. Do this stage if you want, don't do it. It's up to you. Every artist is different. So now that I've got my base of colours roughly down, I'm going through different tweaks to the colours in adjustments. I'm going through the gradient maps and just tweaking the blending modes. I go into a lot more detail with this in my other Draw With Me videos, so have a watch of those. I explain how I use gradient maps, and those videos are timestamped, so you can skip ahead and watch those. I don't go into that much detail here, but it's definitely covered in my other videos. So have a look at that if you're interested to know how I use gradient maps. Okay, I think I've done enough talking for now, so I'm gonna let the cozy background music play for a bit and you can watch me colour in neatly. Like I said, I really like this stage. Now that I've got my colours chosen, I can just enjoy the process of colouring in. I hope you enjoyed that cozy background music, and I hope you're feeling inspired and are drawing along with me, or just absorbing a bit of creativity to add to your next piece of artwork. I didn't manage to film the outlining of these illustrations into stickers, but I explain how I do this in my other Draw With Me videos, as well as my how to make stickers tutorial. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss a video. I absolutely love making these Draw With Me videos. As a mum, it's often difficult to just film in one sitting, so I apologise for the constant change in lighting. Sometimes I'm drawing during my son's nap time or in the evenings, so I feel like my lighting is always going to be a little bit all over the place. But I'm not letting that stop me. You guys have really been loving these Draw With Me videos, so I'm going to keep making them for as long as I can. I'd also really love to know what other videos you'd like to see from me, so please come and say hello in the comments. I'd love to do more tutorials, so just let me know if there's anything specific you want to see and I'll add it to my list of video ideas. At the moment, I've got a lot of sticker sheet designs sketched out, so I thought I'd make a line art special video fairly soon, or perhaps a video on how I choose my colours. Like I said, I find it the most difficult aspect, and I know I'm not alone there, so if I can share some of the ways I'm overcoming that, then I'm sure that'll be useful to someone. And that's it from me, folks. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. Don't forget you can download my brush pack, which I've used for this entire video. I've added the link in the description below, and watch out for that new brush pack coming soon. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now and get drawing my next sticker sheet. Okay, bye guys!